Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the best teams for the Great League. These are my best teams from Season 25. We're going to have one more week left of this season where we're going to have Great League, Ultra League as well as the Master League available at the same time. But of course, I'm happy when the season is going to be gone. This is going to be the interlude season that finally is going to be over. I'm curious when we're going to have the battle system for everyone available. But of course, today we're going to take a look at my best teams of the season. Those are the teams that I would recommend you to try out if you want to climb. Some are fun ones that are more anti-meta, some are top meta, some are toxic. We have a nice variety here today, so if you enjoy this video, I would really appreciate if you could leave a like and subscribe to this channel, as we're getting closer to the 100,000 subscribers on this channel as well. Would be cool to hit this eventually, but let's start in with team number 1. Which is a classic. This is a classic. I only played it recently with Zapdos in the back in order to hit 3,160 Elo in the Go Battle League, which was really nice. So like this is a fantastic team to run still. It's very classic. It's something that you can run in any season. It's going to be very viable next season as well. It doesn't matter if it's like Gastron or like a Quagsire or a Swampert. Like any Mudboy in the lead is going to be fine. Covenant as a safe stop is just perfect. And then you have the Toucannon in the back, which is generally what I usually would play. But then I tried out Zapdos recently, which helps you out with a Corviknight matchup. Yeah, which was really nice, and I just destroyed opponents left, right, and center. Like this team's fantastic. This team is my go-to team kind of for if I just want to have some fun, fast battles, because you have a Mudslapper which kind of applies immediate pressure. You have with the Corviknight Sace-Up that's going to be very neutral and is very difficult to deal with, especially if you get the Air Cutter buff early. And then you have Toucannon in the back, which needs the shields, or like here's Zapdos as well, with both need the shields here on this team, but they're so overpowered if they have an energy advantage, especially if they can farm down a low HP Pokemon. You're going to be able to destroy opponents with this team. Next up, again, we're going to kind of try to get out of the way the teams that are just those common archetypes that you see all the time right now. I played this team recently, and I even faced this team recently and lost against it in very high elo ranges as well. In the Great League, it's a fantastic team to run. Empoleon, Shadow Dragonite, as well as Altaria is a fantastic team to run. There are other alternatives for the Dragonite as well. You can go for the Dragonair, for example. You're going to be able to go for something like a Malamar, a Sableye. They all work out quite well, but just the core of Empoleon Altaria is so broken in the current meta that in even the top elo ranges, most players are running this core. It's so strong. There are some weaknesses you're going to see as well for difficult matchups, but none of them are actually that difficult at the end of the day because you have coverage on basically all of them. For example, you have 2 ground-type Pokemon here where Empoleon is going to be able to hit them for super effective damage with the Hydro Cannon if you have a bit of energy. We're going to have here with Steelix and Morpeko Pokemon that are weak to Superpower. We have here generally with the Stunfisk just a very neutral matchup for the Altaria, even though you're not going to be able to hit with like Sky Attack. It's still just a very neutral matchup with Dragon Breath and Flamethrower. So like there is no real difficult matchup directly for this team. There are some that are going to be a bit more trickier than others, but this team is fantastic and you see it all the time right now in the Go Battle League. As we're going to move on now to the next one, we are going to have more of an anti-meta team, which I recently ran and had great success with, funnily enough, because we're going to run here the Melmetal. It's more of an advanced team, like it's not something that I would recommend you immediately, and I actually have the Ludicolo moveset wrong here on the screen, which is my bad there, like I didn't want to do that. But actually I would recommend you to go for the Ice Beam over the Leaf Storm, as Ice Beam going to give you coverage against Dragon-type Pokemon that maybe want to avoid the Melmetal, which happened quite often to me there as well, because a lot of times you have like opponents that run the Altaria plus the Empoleon core, and you can just catch off guard those Altarias with the Ice Beam on the Ludicolo. I would really recommend you to give that a try. And again, in the back here we're going to have the Corsola, which has a very nice core together with the Melmetal, as Corsola is mainly going to be weak against like those normal type Pokemon where you have Superpower for, but the other normal type Pokemon where Superpower is only neutral against, the Wigglytuff, you're going to have double Iron Bash in order to hit them for super effective damage. So basically Corsola Melmetal core is a very strong core in the current meta that supports each other quite well. And Ludicolo is great at baiting out the Pokemon that Corsola doesn't want to face, while even some of them you can trap with Ice Beam. Next up, we're going to have a team that I also only played recently and had amazing success with. We're going to have the Scizor Guzzlord core. It's a fantastic core. Like I played with Goodra in the middle. The video is up on my channel for all of the teams. So by the way, there is a video on my channel if you want to have more gameplay towards them. It's a fantastic team to run. Corviknight can be a little bit tricky, especially also like here the Annihilape as a fighter can be a bit tricky as well. But it's generally you can play against nearly everything with this team. I think actually, in my opinion, the worst Pokemon to encounter for this team is the Fortress, because Fortress is going to be a bit more difficult as it resists, like all of the fast moves are resisted on this Pokemon, which generally is the case actually for any Steel type, which is interesting, but yeah, I feel like this one is the most difficult one. Anything else you can kind of play around. Like, you can kind of play around. Goodra is fantastic in the meta, and Goodra is like the perfect safe-stop here because it's going to be able to bait out the Fairy-type Pokemon, but the most common Fairy-type is going to be the Azumarill, where Thunder Punch is going to hit it for super effective damage, and it's just going to be not the best matchup for the Azumarill. I played this matchup out quite often with Goodra, and Goodra is actually really good against Azumarill in the current meta, especially in the two-shade scenario, just because you generate energy faster and you outspeed them so much easier, and Thunder Punch buff recently as well helps out quite a bit. Next up is going to be a team that shouldn't work, but it actually worked out really well for me. I made a video towards this as well, where we played Pangoro, the Doublade, as well as the Aegislash, and the benefit here of this team is you kind of have a weakness. Like, this is like one thing that is going to, like, you have actually two weaknesses, which you see in the difficult matchup scenario there, but anything else, you actually are perfectly well equipped to deal with them. Basically, the core of Doublade and Pangoro is fantastic because you're going to be able to have a lead that's going to be a fighting type Pokemon, and Doublade has fighting type coverage while baiting out the Pokemon that usually would be the Pokemon you want to avoid as against a fighting type. For example, like a normal type you would bait out, like a Furret you would bait out, but you still can punish them. You're still going to be able to hit them for super effective damage, and you don't want to face them with an Aegislash in the back, which is your main closer. Aegislash functions best if shields are down. You have a lot of pressure for the shields, especially with Pangoro, but also with Doublade early on. So a lot of times you're gonna get the Aegislash into a position where it can sweep endgame, which happens so often. I have a video up on this channel as well, like around a month ago, I think, towards this team. It was a fantastic team to run. I would really recommend you to give it a try again. Team number 6 here is going to be a team that I played to hit Legend, I think around 10 seasons ago, but it's already great again. It got nerfed quite significantly, and now it got only buffed recently, as Trevenant got buffed again. Shadow Ball is now going to be cheaper, but also Seed Bomb got buffed recently, which is also cheaper now. You have great pacing with this move, and what you're going to see here as well is that those Pokemon kind of work really well together. And the main reason why you're going to have this team the way it is because Annihilape functions really well here in order to be a glue between the Bastion as well as the Trevenant. If we take a look at the weaknesses of those two Pokemon, we're going to see for Bastion a main weakness to water, fighting, as well as ground, which is all going to be resisted or even double resisted from the Trevenant. Trevenant is mainly weak to those ice and flying type Pokemon and fire type Pokemon, which you're all going to be able to beat with a Bastion. So like, it's a perfect core. But in order to have Trevenant like work in here, you kind of need to get rid of the flying type Pokemon, which can be quite difficult, especially if it's flying a normal, like a 2-cannon in the current meta. And you kind of can do that with the Annihilape, which also has Ice Punch as coverage, which is going to allow you to bait out not only the flying type Pokemon, you're also going to be able to counter them afterwards with the Ice Punch. And this is kind of why you would want to run this Pokemon. The one weakness for this team is Malamar. Like, Malamar is very difficult for this team to deal with, but this doesn't mean that this team is bad. I think it's a fantastic team to run. Okay, I love Morpeko. I needed a Morpeko team in this video. This is a Morpeko team that I was running recently. Morpeko is still very strong if you play it right. You need to play it right though. You need to have a shield advantage for this Pokemon, so I wouldn't really recommend you to shield too often on the other ones unless it's absolutely necessary. But this team worked out really well. But if you want to be a bit better equipped against Bastion, I would recommend you go for the Chestnut in the back, which is going to have a better matchup there. But Morpeko can also beat Bastion. Like, it's not the worst matchup there. And just generally speaking, Talonflame plus Morpeko makes a lot of sense, as Morpeko is going to be weak against ground and fighting type Pokemon, which you're going to be able to beat with the Talonflame. Well, Talonflame doesn't really want to face, especially those water type Pokemon, which Morpeko, of course, is going to destroy. So, like, they are a very solid core. It's like Morpeko itself is a bit tricky to build a team around, in my opinion, in the current meta, but I feel like this is a team that makes a lot of sense, especially as you're going to have also the Fairy type weakness for Morpeko, which you're going to be able to beat with Talonflame as a resist charm, as well as then you're going to be able to bait them out with Credilli, which has Acid, which is still super effective and can beat basically every Fairy type Pokemon in the current meta, which is fantastic. So yeah, this team generally should work out quite well for you, and I tried out myself, had great success with it, and we can move on to team number 8. Which is just the core that I've been playing basically non-stop in the Go Battle League. Like, this is the best kind of core in my opinion. It's just the Doublade Gastrodon core. We only saw recently a team with this core a little bit differently on the channel as well. It was Gastrodon, Doublade, Sailstorm, and the Azuma in the pack, which Spellsboy, the world champion currently, was playing up to 3,400 elo. This core is fantastic. It's just so safe. It's just so good together. And yeah, just Doublade, and then again a Dark type, and then here in this case I really enjoyed like having like one of the standard normal type Sailstorms in the middle of it. It really works out well. Like, it's a really good one together, as we're gonna see as well. It actually doesn't look that great on paper, but trust me, like I have played this core I think 3-4 times in different kind of teams, with different kind of dark types in the back in this season so far, and I always had great success with it. Like it's a fantastic core to run. Next up is actually going to be a fun team that worked out really well, even though it should have not, because there are some weaknesses. We have to talk a little bit about the Empoleon in the room. This Pokemon is just going to destroy most of the team here. I was still able to play around it a lot of times. I do think I was running double Incinerate though. I don't think that I was running Ember on my cargo, which allows you, like if you run double Incinerate, to do a little bit more fast move pressure, which can allow you over a long period of time to deal a bit better with the Empoleon. But generally speaking, Empoleon is going to be the worst Pokemon to face with the team. Very bad as well is going to be still Bastiodon, which are two very common Pokemon. Like, don't get me wrong, it's two very common Pokemon, but I tried this team out, and against everything else, it's actually really cool because you can bait out something like a Scizor, for example, with the Gourgeist, as they want to avoid the fire type in the lead. And a lot of times I was able to trap opponents and in matchups that they don't really want to be in, and it just worked out well. I don't know why. It could be just coincidence while I tried it, but this was one of the best teams I played this season. It was one of the most fun teams actually I played all season. So I do think it's kind of worth it here to try it out. And now we go on to the final team, which is going to be here the Torterra, the Togekiss, as well as the Bastion. That's going to be more of the toxic team here, even though it's kind of very similar to the Trevenant team, I feel like, as well. But Torterra on the lead, Shadow, needs to be Shadow, Togekiss as a safe swap, and Bastion in the back as a team that I've been playing. I stole like around 2 seasons ago, but it's been fantastic ever since then. It's such a strong team. It is just so annoying to deal with. I think Togekiss is a fantastic safe swap for this core of Torterra as well as Bastiodon. There's next to no real answer to it. Like, there's really next to no real answer to it. It's very difficult to play against it. This is, in my opinion, the most toxic team that you can currently run. You have Shadow Mudslap, you have Bastion, like you have all that you kind of want. It's really, really strong. Like, that's all I can say about it. And this is going to be it for this video. This is going to be the last top team video of this season. So, hopefully you enjoyed it. And I will see you hopefully for soon the new season release, which should be hopefully today. We'll see. See you then. Bye bye.